So hello, everyone. My name is Mark Osmond. I'm based here in the UK, and I'm responsible for the MSSP journey and vision and deployment strategy across Europe for Securonix. As you can probably tell, a few gray hairs. I've been around the block a few times. I've spent the last 25 years focused on the service provider and the channel business. Ultimately, it became clear to me early on in my career that working with partners was going to be the way for me in the future. A number of different career paths have taken me to varying portions of the IT industry. And I ended up in the software space around 10 years ago and decided to focus on software, and particularly software as a service was really the direction I wanted to go in. That led me into the cyberspace a number of years back, where I've worked for a number of cybersecurity companies. Given the growing threats in the landscape that we face today, it was inevitable that was where my journey was going to head. I think that what's critical for the reason why I ended up at Securonix, having launched a number of service provider programs at a number of different companies, Securonix for me was an incredible fit for not only current capabilities, but also the strategy and the vision that Securonix leadership have laid out. And ultimately, I wanted to be a part of that growth journey, being able to deliver a level of service that was somewhat not there in previous positions that I had. So I'm thrilled to be here. Ultimately, there are a number of different things that really excite me when it comes to the MSSP growth and the growth capabilities that Securonix can offer to our partners across Europe. We're a relatively new organization in Europe. We have a really interesting portfolio, which I think our partners can really leverage. And being a leading Gartner-recognized unified Defense SIEM leader, we certainly want to make sure that we can help our partners go down this growth path with us. The ultimate thing for us is having ultimate flexibility, having ability to scale with our partners, and ultimately a technology stack that is really second to none. Our MSSP partners have been really excited about not only the innovations we've done until now, but obviously our innovations that are ahead of us over the next 12 months to 36 months, where you're going to see some significant changes and improvements into the technology landscape. And ultimately, our service providers are really excited about that. So that's really the core of my excitement, is where we're going as a company in conjunction with our providers. So firstly, I've been thrilled to have had many conversations with prospective partners, existing partners, and in fact, customers that are looking to perhaps use MSSPs as their service provider of choice. There are some really unique challenges that the majority of these partners are facing today. The first one is scaling cost, right? Managing cost and being able to manage their cost over a given period of time. Is my cost today going to look like my cost model in the next 3 years? How do I provide my leadership team with a true scalable cost of ownership, which I can understand? So that's the first one. The second one, which has been particularly prevalent for customers, is how do I manage the SOC myself? How do I know that I'm providing a level of service that's sufficient for my install base of my entire company? And therefore, can a service provider offer me a better service and offer me a more thorough service and a rigid service that allows us to provide those answers? Now, what Securonix does also is we provide a single pane of glass through our single unified platform, whether it's SIEM, whether it's SOAR, whether it's UEBA, or threat intelligence. We allow our service providers to essentially take a piece of all of that platform and put it in a single pane of glass, allowing them to provide a more thorough and complete service to their customers. In the past, customers would have to go out and buy individual components of those services services, and potentially have multiple products, multiple panes of glass, and in essence, multiple complexities in how they manage their SOC service. So that's one of the key benefits for Securonix with our service providers, is being able to bring all that together in a unified platform and leverage the capabilities and strengths of each of our components. The biggest opportunity for Securonix and our service providers as we go through this journey, we're ultimately not looking to provide service provider services through hundreds and hundreds of service providers. We are looking to build very qualified relationships with a unique set of partners across Europe, and ultimately to deliver a service that's more meaningful. It's a partnership, and ultimately we can then provide the biggest and best service together in unison. On top of that, given our relationship with AWS, our SaaS platform is hosted in AWS, we allow a unique proposition through our AWS partnership to co-sell for service providers with AWS to go after yet more new opportunities. This is very unique for us, that we have a dedicated, unique SaaS platform in AWS, and allows us to leverage that relationship accordingly. So this is a really good question, and ultimately the reason why we have our conversations with our partners, and they're really looking for a few things that Securonix is able to deliver as part of the proposition. First of all, how do I manage my costs over time? Being able to scale the business and also keep an idea of what our baseline costs look like is a critical question that our service providers ask. The second piece is having a single pane of glass, as I mentioned previously, and being able to do everything through one single platform. This is a very key part of the strategy for us. The third component, which is probably the most important for service providers, is the fact that we offer a true multi-tenancy platform and allows service providers to certainly deliver a multi-tenant solution. Whereas in the past, and actually currently with some of our competitors, they're not able to offer a multi-tenant platform and have to build new tenant instances with every single customer they onboard. That's a key striking advantage for Securonix, and actually one of the reasons why I was so keen to join the company, because we offer that cost model management. We offer a seamless platform with a single pane of glass, and obviously it's a multi-tenant solution, which allows our service providers to scale and grow accordingly. So perhaps the hot topic of the day is AI, and ultimately, you go to any conference, you go to any customer conversation, you go to any service provider conversation, and the first question is, what is your AI strategy, right? It's an interesting one because I think a lot of people in the IT space in general, not only the cybersecurity space, but IT in general, have tried to jump on the bandwagon of AI and the necessity to have AI as part of their offerings. We've taken an interesting approach, and one which I think is actually going to be a real winner for us in the long term. We're not saying that AI is going to replace, but it's going to enhance your existing operations. And that's something which I think is critical for our service providers. Service providers are providing a service, and there's obviously human intelligence involved as part of that solution. The fact that we can offer AI as an enhancement to that solution, allowing the SOC analyst to still be in control of the operations, but do it quicker, do it smarter, and obviously have an ability to respond quicker and provide a more scalable output. That's certainly an opportunity for us, which I think is key in the marketplace. So phenomenal question. And ultimately, as I mentioned before, AI has become this magic buzzword, and both customers and service providers are critically interested in why AI is shaping the future. And as I mentioned, we are leveraging AI in a slightly different way to some of our competitors' claims. We are leveraging as an enhancement to our existing platform and our existing service capabilities. How can a SOC analyst work quicker? How can they respond quicker? How can they receive alerts quicker? And both AI and machine learning is embedded across our entire platform to allow us to respond faster. We don't see and predict that we're suddenly going to replace all of our SOC analysts in the field with a machine learning mechanism or an AI mechanism. Ultimately, it's going to be an enhancement of the existing service. This, I think, is what's critical for why our service providers are talking to us. They like the control. They like the fact that we're providing those additional levels of capability to their existing offerings. And ultimately, this is a thing that's really setting us apart in the marketplace. Yeah, I think if I was to put on my consulting hat and leave Securonix to the side for 1 second, there's a common theme of questions that I receive on a day-to-day basis. The first one is, how do I manage my total cost of ownership as a service provider? And I think the industry has done a bad job in providing full transparency to service providers on how they're going to own and manage their security stack over time. The second thing is, am I scalable, right? Am I able to scale out to different types of customer bases? Can I work in different industry segments? And ultimately, can I provide multi-tenancy to my customers and reduce my cost of ownership in unison? These are some key items that I think our service providers have to be aware of, and ultimately don't have that full transparency as part of the process. Going back to the Securonix side, two things that we really provide is that transparency on the total cost of ownership. We know, and you know, therefore, over the period of time, how much you're going to spend, and ultimately there are no hidden costs. We're really proud of that fact. The second piece, the single pane of glass that's offering a multi-tenant platform to multiple customers is critical for a service provider moving forward to be successful. And the fact that we can tie those two together and talk about a growth strategy and a scalable model for both us and our service providers is just paramount. I've been in organizations that try and sign up every single potential partner that ultimately has a heartbeat. We have decided that we're going to be actually very deliberate in our ecosystem growth over the next 12 months, and in fact, moving forward. We're going to work with partners that want to go on the journey with us, and ultimately we want to go on the journey with them. We're not going to provide an unscalable model of support where we have hundreds of providers where it just becomes incredibly difficult to be meaningful and powerful in the unique marketplaces that they serve. So the ecosystem is gonna continue to grow. It's growing rapidly, but not to a point where we see a saturation in the marketplace, and we can still continue to offer a high quality of service in partnership with our service providers in order to be able to grow together. I think ultimately it's the scalability and the partnership that we bring to the organizations that we work with. We have made an absolute paramount focus on building a trusted relationship with our partners, making sure that we understand the partner's model, what makes them tick and their go-to-market strategy with their customers, and ultimately making sure that we can both go on the same journey together. We have not made a habit of trying to sell to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different partners and just making them a single entity on a spreadsheet, right? We want personal and real relationships. We want to grow with them and understand where their business is going so we can help work on the complex situations together. For a key takeaway, though, it's a little more than the people. We have a trusted platform. We're Gartner-recognized. We are a leader in the Magic Quadrant and have been for a number of years. So our technology is great. The fact that we offer a multi-tenanted solution with scalable cost models and the ability to grow and scale is going to be key. And I would ask that have an opportunity to look at what we can offer you. We're not to one size fits all. We want to work with you, and we have that ultimate flexibility to be able to drive your business in the way you need to. So we're not going to essentially limit you in a box of capability. We're continuing to innovate in our platform. We're continuing to grow, and we're spending a big focus on where the future is going. As I mentioned, with our AI implementation and our augmented AI solution, we are definitely going to be one to look at in the future.